Ideal Professionals video tutorials. Inventory management. In this tutorial we'll talk about item classes, for example stock, non-stock, master stock, etc. Also talk about inventory adjustment, talk about setting up inventory items and their balances. Then we'll talk about how to build an assembly item. So let's go to Peachtree. This inventory and services. Select inventory, select new item. We have different kind of item classes. We have the stock item, master stock, serialized stock, non-stock item, service, labor, assembly, activity. So we talk about them one by one. We know, let's talk about non-stock items. Non-stock item. Non-stock item, use this class of item such as service contract that you can sell but do not put into your inventory. So you can just call it service 01, enter. You can say contract service, and put our description, our contract service, and click on save. The next one to talk about is our normal stock items. Our normal stock items. So let's say new. Save this, no. Select it. Stock items previously created. We have, for instance, inventory 01 food stock item. They will now create 3 different general ledger for it: sales, inventory, and cost of sales. That is sales food, cost of sales food, and the inventory. You can also select beverages. We have sales beverages, cost of sales beverages, and inventory. So we also want to talk about another stock item. Let me click on new. Let me talk about master stock. Master stock. Assume we want to create a stock. A master stock as substock. We use this item class when you want to set up a master stock item, a special item that does not represent inventory you stock, but rather contain information, that is item attributes. Item attributes. shared with a number of substock item generated from it. So for instance, let me create plastic. Let me say how to create a special plastic. I call it plastic 01. I say enter. Description plastic. Now select master stock. I'll now go straight, so it's system selected the 3 ledger account. Then I can also have different prices, price level 1, price level, that's different prices for this particular stock. I'll say cancel. So for master stock, the important attribute is the item attribute, where we will create substock. So let me say name, let me say size, under size we can have large, average to LG, description large. I'll say add. It automatically comes down as created substock item. I'll also say small SM and write small. I say add. It automatically comes down and creates a substock. I can also have secondary attributes like color, for instance. I'll now say red RD, then the full description is red. I'll click on add. It automatically add to the substock. Let me add one more. Let me say GR, that is green. I say add. So this master stock automatically created the substock and assigned the item ID. So you can now click on save. So when we check our drop down list, we can now see lot of our substock that has been created. I only created the master stock and automatically created all other substock. So let me now select individual substock. I can now enter my beginning balances for the substock. I can say this is 50, or let me say 59. Unit cost 70. Enter one more. I'll say this is 34 and this is 60, and I'll say okay. So it's updating. So another thing that I need to note is that substock cannot be deleted. See that it's not highlighted. You cannot delete a substock except you delete the master itself. So let me now go back and check my master, that is plastic 01, and I'll go to item attribute. It has automatically updated the quantity on hand to 59 and 34. So that is master stock. So I'll say close. Let's also talk about serialized stock item. Serialized stock item. We use this class for stock item when it's associated with serial number. with serial number. So let me assume a car, for instance. Let me assume a car. Let me see car 01. No, don't save it. Car 01 as my stock. So this car, it now has serial, it's now serialized stock item. So it's not telling me to assign the serial number. You can now see that this is not highlighted, this is not highlighted, it's now serial number. So you can now assign a serial number to a particular car. It was exported or imported to Nigeria, was not found. Okay, then also have warranty period. This warranty period is covered under a warranty. So we also have these options: available, in progress, sold, adjusted, returned. So you can now see customize field, general. So that's how to create serialized items. Customize field, history, then the serial number. Now let's say save. We can now talk about, let me say new. We'll just talk about on the drop down list, description only. Description only. Description only. This is just for comment. We are not tracking any stock. It's just for comment. So you just write what's all about here and the type and the item type that it is. You write it here. We just want to talk about service. Service. And let's click service. This has to do with employees. You can now see that now selected sales, wages, and cost of sales. So service applies to salary and wages account. Is useful for employee to enter the cost of service. Let's talk about labor. Labor, this applies to outside job. So it's used to track an outside labor for a particular project. So the next thing I want to talk about here is assembly. Assembly. If we close this, we can see on our inventory dashboard, set up items for assembly, then build assembly. So we need to first create item, that is stock items. After creating stock items, we will now use all the stock items to now create our assembly. So for instance, if I want to build a garden hole kit and I need a hole, a spade, and hand trowel. So I'll just create, I can say my tool, for instance, tool 01. I'll say hole, there's under stock item. I'll save this. I can also say to 02, and I'll say spade. I'll save this. 03, I'll say hand trowel, and I'll save it. Having done that, I can also say close. Then I'll now go to assembly, build new assembly. So I want to build a new assembly. I can say so you can close this. So we now create it. You will say we create it under assembly. You now say, and call it garden. You say GARDN01. Enter. I'll now say description garden all kit. Then the item class will now be my assembly. So as I select assembly, is now highlighting bill of material. So for my requesting for bill of material, I will now click on items. I'll now select the individual items, that is my whole. Then quantity needed, let me say 67. I'll say add. Go to the next one. The second one, I need my spade. Quantity needed just 2. And I'll select the last, that is hand trowel, and just say 5. Now add it. So I can now save. So I will now say close. So if I want to see build new assembly, if I want to see what I have built, just select it. So it's now giving me all the items I selected. I can now say action, build. You can say date, 1st of January, quantity, and say 5 to build, reference, put the reference number. You can also assign supervisor to supervise the particular project. Now put the supervisor's name and the reasons. So this is how to build assembly. Let's save it. It's telling me okay. So I'll say no, don't save it. We also want to talk about inventory adjustment. Inventory adjustment. This inventory adjustment. We can either adjust inventory, increase inventory up, or reduce it. So I will specify the reason why we are adjusting the inventory. For instance, the customer returned goods to us. We sold goods to customer and they returned goods to us. So the stock will increase. So let me select, for instance, foam, and put adjustment A, adjustment 01, 4th of January. Okay, 4th of January is okay. Then we can track a job. If it's assigned to a job, we can just select the job. Then the quantity to be adjusted, we can say 5. So the new balance is now 205. Then return from customer. So it increased our stock. Say save. Also, we can also reduce our stock item. Let's select supplies, the GL account, its cost of sales supply, so the account from which adjustment is taken. Say okay. I'll now put, to reduce it, I'll put a negative sign, minus. I say minus 10. I'll click on enter. Then I'll now put my reason for reducing the stock. I can say pilferage or stolen. And I'll put the reference ADJ adjustment 02. Now click on save. In this tutorial, we talked about item classes, stock, non-stock, master stock. We also talked about substocks. We also looked at inventory adjustment. We look at how to set up inventory items and their balances, and how to build an assembly. I hope this has been informative for you, and I want to thank you for viewing.